Hey everyone. So, if you're in the Indian tech world, you've probably felt it, right? Something's different. The job postings, the opportunities, they feel like they've changed. Today, we're going to dig deep and figure out what is really going on with the job market for software engineers. I'm willing to bet this exact thought has popped into your head while you're scrolling through LinkedIn or Naukri late at night. You see a couple of front-end roles, maybe, and then, boom, an absolute flood of back-end and full-stack positions. It's easy to think, man, is it just me? But listen, I'm here to tell you it is absolutely not just you.
And look, that feeling, it's not just a hunch. We're not talking about some vibe-based take or a temporary blip in the market. No way. What we're looking at here is a real, fundamental, structural shift. And we've got the hard data to prove it, pulled from job postings all across the country.
All right, so let's put the vibes aside for a second and dive into the actual data. Because trust me, the story the numbers are telling us, it's crystal clear. And it's going to explain exactly why your job hunt feels so off lately.
Okay, get ready for this. This is the number that just stops you in your tracks. 4 to 1. In a lot of the Indian tech market, for every one front-end job you see, there are 4 back-end jobs. Let that sink in for a second. 4. This isn't just a gap, people. It's a chasm. And it's literally reshaping careers as we speak.
And just look at the sheer scale of this. As of early this year, we're seeing about 2,900 open front-end roles. Okay, not bad, right? Well, compare that to, wait for it, over 7,500 for back-end and another 7,500 for full-stack. I mean, back-end roles alone outnumber front-end by more than 2.5 times. The data isn't just talking, it's screaming at us.
But hold on, the story doesn't stop there. It actually gets even crazier. The real gut punch comes when you look at who these jobs are actually for. This is where the picture gets really, really clear, especially if you're just starting your career. Okay, so take a look at this breakdown. Across the board, front-end, back-end, full-stack, you name it, a whopping 70 to 80% of all jobs are for mid to senior level folks. And if you're in front-end, well, the number of entry-level jobs is like the tiniest slice of an already pretty small pizza. It's tough out there.
So here's the bottom line, right? It's a total double whammy for front-end developers. First, the market itself is just smaller. And second, within that smaller market, companies are laser-focused on hiring senior talent. It makes it an incredibly tough environment for any junior dev trying to get their foot in the door.
Okay, so we've seen what's happening. We get it, the numbers are skewed. But now for the million-dollar question, why? Why is all this happening? Well, it's not random, I can tell you that. There are 3 big, powerful forces at play here, and they're all connected.
So let's break them down. First up, we've got simple team economics, just the basic math of building software. Second, we'll talk about AI and how it's not helping everyone equally. And third, we're going to look at how this idea of full stack is basically eating the front-end world for lunch.
All right, first up, team economics. The best way to think about this is the classic iceberg analogy. The pretty user interface, the front end, that's just the tiny tip you see above the water. But underneath, that's where the real monster is, the massive back-end infrastructure with all the databases, the logic, the microservices, and that just takes more people to build and maintain. It's always been this way, and when money gets tight, companies double down on the back end, and that ratio gets even worse for front end.
Okay, on to the second force. And folks, this one is a huge deal. We're talking about AI. Now, generative AI, it's a game changer for productivity for sure. But here's the thing, its impact isn't fair. It doesn't help everyone equally. It gives one side of the engineering world a massive, massive advantage. Think about it like this. A back-end dev uses AI, and suddenly they're shipping complex APIs and core business logic way faster. That's a huge win. But what happens when a front-end dev uses AI? Well, they ship the UI faster, which is nice, I guess. But let's be honest, building the UI was almost never the main bottleneck holding a project back.
And this all leads directly to our third force, something people are starting to call the Claude effect. The idea is simple. A really good senior back-end engineer can now just ask an AI like Claude to spit out, say, 85% of the front-end code they need. All of a sudden, you have this new breed of product engineer who can build a whole feature, end-to-end, all by themselves. And you better believe companies absolutely love that level of efficiency.
So this naturally brings us to that loaded buzzword, full stack. It's everywhere, right? It's one of the most common job titles you'll see. But here's the secret. It almost never means what you think it means. For a lot of people, it's actually a trap.
The data on this is just wild.
We looked at thousands of job descriptions for full-stack roles. And get this, a massive 65% of them, they're really just back-end jobs in disguise. They just want someone who knows a little bit of React on the side. They are not looking for a true 50-50 expert.
So what does that mean for you? It means if you're a pure front-end dev and you're applying for these jobs, you're probably getting filtered out by the algorithm before a human even sees your resume. I'm serious. A hiring manager wants deep system design and database knowledge. They couldn't care less about your pixel-perfect CSS for that role.
Okay, I know, that was a lot of pretty heavy news, but listen, the point of this isn't to be all doom and gloom. Not at all. It's about being smart, being strategic. So let's pivot right now to the most important part of this whole thing, your 2026 survival guide. What can you do to not just survive, but actually succeed in this new world? First, for my front-end devs out there, if you love front-end, don't give up on it. The answer isn't to abandon ship, it's to go deeper. You have to become a specialist in the things that AI is still terrible at. We're talking mastering performance with Core Web Vitals, diving into insane 3D graphics with WebGL and 3.js, or architecting really complex local-first apps. The goal is to make yourself so valuable they can't ignore it.
Now, for all the junior developers listening, I need you to hear this loud and clear because it's urgent. You simply cannot afford to be front-end only anymore. It's just not a viable path. You have to learn the back end. You need to understand the database, the API, the deployment pipeline, the whole story. That's how you become valuable.
And hey, for all my back-end folks, what does this mean for you? Oh, just a massive golden opportunity. You should absolutely lean into that full-stack label. Use AI to patch up your UI skills. Because let me tell you, your market value skyrockets the moment you can walk into an interview and say, "Don't worry about it, I can ship this whole feature myself, end to end."
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? The tech job market isn't vanishing, not by a long shot. What it's doing is condensing. It's reshaping itself around these AI-powered generalists, the engineers who can deliver value from start to finish. The era of being just a hyper-specialized coder in a silo, yeah, that's fading, and it's fading fast.
And I really want to leave you with this one final thought, because it's the most important one of all. What we're witnessing right now, this isn't just cyclical noise. It's not a temporary dip you can just wait out. This is a fundamental structural shift in how we build software and who gets hired to do it. So the only question left is, what are you going to do about it?